And I think we're live.
Do you think, or
I
do you
think so.
know?
What does this green thing mean? It's like a little square, and it looks like we're live.
It means you're pregnant.
All
All right, here we go.
right.
Welcome to episode 114. This episode 2OC we talk about gamers give Blizzard the cold shoulder. South Park says, "Come at me, bro." And Anton reads a book. I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan.
Anton, how's your week been?
It's been a very educational week for me. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I've been trying to, read up on how to prep the wife to get
Okay,
ready
so
for.
okay, so when two people love each other,
Oh
they
no. Yeah.
okay.
So
I
I've
don't know.
been.
I don't know how far back you're going with like how something works. So
Yeah. Well, I've been reading this book. It's called "We're Pregnant." And it's the first time dad's pregnancy book. And I'm glad that they have this book because I looked at her book,
yeah,
uh, and those are the people that actually know people that go through pregnancies. They usually
yeah.
buy this book called "What to Expect When You're Expecting."
Yeah. That's actually a very popular book.
Yeah,
It is the everybody poops of the pregnancy world.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
you saw how thick those books are? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's a textbook. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. So I was looking at her book and I was looking at my book, and it was like that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're assuming that, the key stuff is gonna be in the other book. And this is
Yeah.
more of like specifically for the dads that might have been omitted from other
It's
books.
funny. So I've read like a couple chapters in, so I'm
Yeah.
like probably 30% of the way into the book, and the author, he kind of makes fun of the thicker book by saying, you know, he didn't read that book because
It's too
he
damn long.
he felt like it was too damn long, but then it
He's
got
he's like, my wife is only pregnant for 10 months. I can't read that book in that much time.
yeah. So I mean, his wife left that book on the
Okay.
toilet.
Oh,
Yeah, and she left it there for so long that it started to collect dust.
yeah.
And she put it there for a reason, and he finally got the hint that he should read it.
Well,
So when
well,
he read it, yeah,
first of all, communication skills.
yeah, yeah,
Just assuming that he's
yeah.
gonna know what it means.
So when he finally read it, he's like, "Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff in here, but there's a lot of stuff that I shouldn't know because that's more personal."
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think those the other books are more for the mom to
Hmm.
be, and for the couple as a whole.
Yeah.
As for the guy that's guy specific,
Hmm.
or that guys would relate to, that's not really included in most books.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's a funny story. So, for the past couple of weeks, everything's fine. I've been cooking, and she loves the food that I cook. So, uh, I'm like, okay, this is working out. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one day, she was like, "Whoa, what are you cooking? It smells so like strong." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's just spaghetti. I cooked it last week, you know."
Hmm.
And and then I'm like, "Wait, this is weird. It is did you like grow some like spider senses or something and like get like super smell?" And then she's like, "I don't know. I think so." And
Yeah.
I was reading this book, and then when it got to the part where it says 7 weeks, and
Hmm.
it lists all the things that are happening during that week, and usually like pregnant woman starts to uh, grow that sense of smell, and they call it super smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, that's to I say I'm trying to think evolutionary, and I'm sure that's more to detect foods that might cause harm, or
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it just heightens all of the senses, and
Hmm.
then yeah, it's kind of
It's super,
funny.
super survival mode.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to adjust, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do so I can get something that um that wouldn't smell too much, so that way
Hmm.
it's easier for her to eat. Because sometimes, like Like this morning, I just cooked instant noodles for myself, and she's like, "Oh my god, I could smell from upstairs." So
Does she get grossed out?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. A lot of the
it's
things
just
that she likes to eat, she's grossed out now.
yeah, because I think the best thing to compare it to is stuff we like to eat as a kid.
Hmm.
It was awesome, but now you think back like, oh god, that's so much sugar. Oh god, that's so much salt.
Yeah,
Your taste buds change, and I think that's how hers is. It's like that's just so much sodium in the ramen or the noodles.
yeah. Like she loves butternut squash, so I
Hmm.
I took her out to a place that has it the other day. She only ate like 2 scoops, 2 spoonfuls, and she's like, "Ah, I'm good."
She
Yeah,
like pass.
yeah.
All
So
right,
yeah,
all right.
that's pretty much my week so far. What about yours?
My week has been kind of a blur. But I do have a fun weekend coming up. Tomorrow,
Hmm.
I'm going to. Have you ever been to Steelcraft in Long Beach?
Steelcraft? No, I haven't.
So it's I think Steelcraft is actually a brewery itself, but
Hmm.
uh, it's a think of it like a giant cafeteria or like an outdoor cafeteria,
Hmm.
but it's all built from shipping containers.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
So
really
they
cool.
have, yeah, so they have different vendors, different shops, and all that. Uh, Food places, I think, brewery that each one is actually a shipping container.
Oh.
It reminds me of a Ready Player One,
Oh,
the
okay.
stacks.
Yeah, it's the stacks. It's basically
Yeah,
like a whole city full of containers.
yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
this, let me see here if I can find you something. Um, so they have one in Long Beach,
Hmm.
but they just finished building one here in, well, not here, but in Garden Grove,
Mm.
right by Garden Grove High School.
Hmm. So is
Um,
this place kind of like a food truck type of
yeah,
place?
think of it like a food truck vibe, but it's shipping containers.
Yeah. So
I'm
we have something similar, but it's not food the truck containers. But what we have here is just like a little like house that's
mhm.
kind of that acts as the main house with the restrooms and the brewery,
Mhm.
and then outside is a bunch of like RV hookups where these trucks who sign a contract they can go there and be there for like a month or something like that. So
Oh,
basically, like every day you can go there and there'll be these food trucks that are kind of like permanent for like a month and
yeah.
they rotate. It's kind of cool.
Isn't it kind of like that one guy in the chef show
Hmm.
in Austin?
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
have they have like just lots that they converted to like food truck events
yeah. So
or
the
food
one here in
truckers.
Orlando is called a la carte.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So anyway, so yeah, they opened this place in Garden Grove. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go check it out tomorrow,
Hmm.
and then hopefully I don't get the hangover this time. And then Saturday, I'm actually going to LA Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
It's
That's really cool.
yeah, it totally snuck up on me.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's gonna be my girlfriend's first comic book convention.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of give her the basics of like this
Hmm.
is how you usually set up, and maybe do a walkthrough, and then just kind of let her see what she wants to check out, what she wants to explore.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what type of stuff that they have there.
Yeah, and you know what? And one thing I realized too is this is actually a really good big convention to take her to for comic books
Hmm.
because even though it's a decent size, it's
It's
pretty
not
much a
crowded.
mini. No, it gets pretty crowded now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably the third, at most half the size of San Diego Comic Con, the actual convention center.
Hmm.
But the panels are actually all on the show floor.
Oh, okay.
So like everything is just happening live in the middle of the show floor.
Hmm.
So it kind of easier into like kind of gives her a taste of what the panels are without having to line up.
Hmm.
And also get to experience the show floor.
Hmm.
And then that way, in case she does decide to join us one time for San Diego Comic Con, she
Yeah.
knows what to, if we say panels or whatever, she knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. Um, we haven't done this for a while, but I'm actually gonna drink a beer tonight. Yeah.
I'm drinking passion tea.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I got this new brewery. I don't know if they're new or not, but they're new to me. They're called Brew Hub, and this is Key Billy. It's an ale with key lime juice in there. So they would prefer this as an island ale. It's 5.4 ABV,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna try it out right now.
Nice. While you open that up, well, you do a little Foley. There you go.
Yeah.
And shout out a podcast I've been listening to lately, Four Brewers. I don't know if you checked it out yet.
Mhm.
It's actually four brewers.
Four brewers. Okay.
Yeah, it's four different guys. I think they're from different breweries, and they kind of just get together and uh, test out different beers. And I like it because they range so much from the different things they drink. I think the episode that I checked out for the first time was they were testing out the cider, or not cider. What's like that White Claw? Seltzer alcohol.
Oh, seltzer
drink?
is so popular right now.
Yeah, so they were actually drinking like White Claw, Truly, and all that. Whatever it was. They were like, "Yeah, this is hot." But the episode, okay, first off, we're just kidding. This is awful.
Yeah. Awful as in like taste or just overall like experience of drinking it.
I think probably both.
Yeah.
Which I agree. I was surprised. I was like, "No, please don't tell me that."
It's good. It's a good thing to drink if you're just having like good conversations and then want to get fucked up. Because I've seen a lot of people talk about drinking seltzer right now, and it just seems like a lot of the younger people are drinking it just to.
It's just trendy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so what do you think of the beer, Anton?
This is very interesting. Like if it tastes more like a lager.
Mm-hmm.
And that key lime kind of kicks in at the very end. Like you don't get it a whole lot when you're drinking it. It's the aftertaste. Like when you suck a little bit of air in, like you get that little lingering lime taste to it.
Okay, a little bit of citrusy taste to it.
Yeah. So you don't taste that at first. It's more of the aftertaste.
What's the name of it again?
This is Brew Hub.
But with the beer though.
This is Key Billy.
So I guess a key lime.
Yeah, Key Billy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's starting to turn into it's fall weather. The Oktoberfest beers are out. I'm kind of looking forward to the darker beers right now.
Mm.
That one seems more like a late summer beer that just kind of.
I think it's a late summer beer because it's
just refreshing. It's light.
It's refreshing. It's light.
Yeah. All right, Anton. Ready to get into the show?
Yep. Let's get into the show.
All right. Let's start with our first segment, news.
All right, news time.
All right, Anton. I think we're gonna be talking about the same thing on this topic. Blizzard loses gamers. So, are you talking about the gamer that got banned?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You start.
Yeah. So, actually, pull up my notes here. So Blizzard has competitions for a game called Hearthstone, and did I lose it?
Yeah, Hearthstone. And I think for the competition, Blitz Chung, excuse me, which is the player that is from Hong Kong, and he won the event. So for the post interview, he said, "I'll let you say it."
No, I don't have his quote, but okay. I finally found my notes. Blitz Chung. Ranked Grandmaster, highest tier, suspended for a year from Hearthstone Pro Play after making comments in support of Hong Kong protesters during a post-game interview.
Yeah,
Blizzard said his his actions violated their competition rules.
Yeah, so he said liberation for Hong Kong protesters.
Right, and that's the thing that bugged me because when the news first broke, I couldn't get what he actually said. All they said was he made a comment during the interview, and Blizzard said it was against their it violated their competition rules.
Yeah, but we all know that Blizzard's doing it because they have a lot of business in China, and they don't want to lose China's business.
Yeah. And that was kind of when I posted that story, that was kind of the hint I bit in the caption there.
Yeah,
I said, "Wonder how many customers Blizzard has in China."
A lot, because I mean they've had people since World of Warcraft and StarCraft, and then even a lot of people played World of Warcraft too, which is one of the big things that they had for a while. And League of Legends started because of World of Warcraft. Not World of Warcraft, but regular Warcraft.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's such a big market over there. So I think that's why they're trying to protect it so much. But at the same time, like, hey, what's wrong is wrong. What's right is right,
Well, we're starting to see a lot of companies and organizations. They have to start making a statement one way or another. Apple, uh, Apple had to face that with some of the manufacturing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well,
and
recently, during the
actually,
Hong Kong protests, they
yeah,
they banned one of the apps, and it
yeah,
was an app that a lot of the protesters use to avoid police. It's kind of like it uses GPS, and people report where the polices are.
yeah.
Yeah, so they
Uh,
banned that app.
yeah, I saw that on Twitter. It was like IHK something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, they removed it from their store.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Uh, CES, the Consumer Electronics convention,
Mm-hmm.
or I forgot what it was. CES stands for that's
Are you talking about CNET?
show. No, CES, Consumer Electronics Show.
Uh-huh.
That's usually held in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That one they actually banned a Chinese company due to they didn't even specify. They just said human rights violations.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know if it's because of the conditions for employees, or because of the side that company has taken with the Hong Kong
Okay, so tell
protests.
me what you think about this. Do you think it's wrong that, Apple banned the app? Because the one good reason why a lot of people used it was, there are families that are not part of the protests that would like to know, to avoid, because there
They
are,
could just be caught in the wrong place, wrong
yeah, they
time.
can just be caught in the wrong place in the wrong time. And plus, China wants to ban the face masks, just a regular
Yeah.
mask that you would wear, like the doctor ones.
Oh, they already did. They already did. They
I
already banned
know
that.
it's not fair though. I mean, there are a lot of kids that are sick, and the pollution in Hong Kong is still pretty bad from coming from China. So, I mean, a lot of people would just wear it regularly, and then they would get caught in the whole mix with the police. So the
Yeah.
one reason why they use this app is because they want to avoid those areas as a family. Do you think that's wrong?
I mean, I like to think of it as if they had a similar app like that here in the United States, I wouldn't have an issue with them banning it because I know people be shady. Kind of like those. You remember those old devices people used to have in their cars to
Well,
track
people
for police
still
scanners?
use it now, like Waze, like when you go on the,
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can
I
report
don't.
there's police or something. But
I don't usually
that's
trust it though.
yeah, but
And
that's
it's
like
yeah.
public knowledge. It's
Yeah.
not really doing anything illegal.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. You're right. Waze does have that functionality. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think that this is going to get a lot bigger because a lot of the companies that I mean, Apple, I mean,
Yeah.
big one, uh, they're going to have to make a decision one way or
Hmm.
another. Like, how are they going to come down on this?
Okay.
Uh, because they besides the human rights issue and whatever you believe of Hong Kong sovereignty,
Hmm.
uh, uh, either you lose risking a lot of customers in China and
Hmm.
business there, or you face the negative public perception here in the United States and other similar countries
Hmm.
that see Hong Kong as a sovereign nation and people siding with China as the bad guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I dug deeper into this, and the reason why I want to talk about this a little further just now is because, we play a video game that's made by Blizzard,
Hmm.
and we play it quite often.
I don't know what
um,
you're talking about.
so we play this game called Overwatch, and it's made
Yeah.
by Blizzard, and we've been playing it for years now. So because of the whole issue that's going on right now, a lot of players are kind of deleting their own accounts on Blizzard.
Hmm.
And they deleted so many accounts that Blizzard had to shut down their servers. so they
To
can't delete their
to
accounts.
so like the like domain name servers they shut down,
Okay, so like
or like
sometimes when
the
you
user
want to
interface.
log into like Battle.net,
Yeah.
you would need a activation key from your phone or from
Right.
the email or something like that. So they shut down those servers that are the authenticators.
Uh.
So
So
yeah. So for
so
example, if you want to,
you request to cancel your account, but
yeah,
you never get confirmation to cancel
no,
it.
they shut those down because so
Uh.
many people were doing it, and it was a big deal because they were losing like
Okay.
a lot.
Has Blizzard made a comment about that yet?
No, but
Okay.
it gets even crazier. When fans of Overwatch actually know what's going on, and it's just not Overwatch. It's like every Blizzard game in general.
Yeah, yeah, you got I'm gonna blank out on that. You got Hearthstone, Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
StarCraft, a
Hmm.
lot of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what's going on right now. The fans want China to ban Blizzard. That's what people want to do right now
Okay,
online.
so from Blizzard siding with China, so the other way to get this done is to
Yeah.
make China ban. I mean, we
So,
can go to the next
okay,
story.
okay. So you know what they're doing now? The fans are doing now to ban Blizzard in China.
Uh, they're coordinating protest on some sort of Blizzard chat.
Yeah, they're
Really?
coordinating one specific character, and that's Mei. So if you go on Reddit,
Oh,
if you go on Reddit, okay, since last night until this morning, it's still trending. Mei is the only one that they grabbed from Overwatch, and they put like a mask on her, and then they would say, Mei, Mei is for the people of Hong Kong.
yeah.
So yeah, they're trending it like crazy on
Okay.
Twitter and all these social media, and they're doing
So
that because they want to get rid of Blizzard
to
in China.
Blizzard.
Yeah.
So give people some background there. So one thing that Overwatch was very famous for at the beginning was that each of the characters, or their character selection, is very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Different ages, different countries, and one of the actual things that people praise them for is that each character is voiced by a voice actor that is either from that place or is
They stood for something.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
they were represented. So May's character, the person that voices that does the voice for Mei, is actually Chinese.
Yeah, and I think she's from mainland China. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I want to. I'm trying to think back for all the Mei
Okay, so
voices.
here's one of the cool things that happen. Uh, the good things that happen is that Diva was actually one of the characters that they use for women rights.
So Korean,
Yeah,
South.
yeah, and that's what they use. And I guess if they were able to get May to be part of this protest, I think
Yeah.
it kind of gives a better picture of what's going on. But I don't know at this point. It's kind of iffy.
I swear, if this is the reason why Blizzard locked this season's character selection or
Yeah,
class selection, I'm gonna be very pissed.
yeah.
Uh, so I mean, could you imagine if everybody just picked DPS and everybody just chose Mei?
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of people trying to get banned,
Oh,
so,
the sportscaster
uh
for I think Overwatch or Hearthstone. Yeah, yeah. The sportscaster for Hearthstone is stepping out of casting because BlizzCon's coming up on November 1st.
uh
Yeah, and he's stepping down because he's protesting too.
I wonder if Albrecht's still gonna do it. Usually, Alex Albrecht, another
Yeah.
podcaster, he does the emceeing for BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I wonder what's going to happen. All right, so speaking of making China ban you,
Mm-hmm.
South Park did an episode doing just that to try to antagonize China
Yeah.
enough to get a reaction that China, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
China has officially blocked all streaming clips, anything you might be able to watch on South Park, banned in China.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it worked. Like that is exactly what the creators of South Park wanted to do with this episode, and it worked.
Yeah.
I was actually about to watch it.
Hmm.
If you haven't been watching South Park this season, Randy has a pot farm. And the the episode, I swear, I probably paused at the wrong spot.
Hmm.
The episode is Randy's bright idea to make more money as a pot farmer is, guys, I've been doing some research online, and after extensive research, I realized that China has a lot of people. If I just sell pot to at least 2%, I can make millions. Here back, guys. I gotta do this really quick before anybody else thinks of it.
Yeah.
Which is making fun of, like I said, like we were saying earlier, Blizzard, Apple,
Hmm.
all these major companies that just want that any market share in China, which
Hmm.
stands for millions of dollars, and willing to work with China with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny that it worked.
You know
And
what else
if
they
it
banned?
what
Uh,
freedom,
so you heard about the rockets, right?
red glare, yes.
No,
The Houston
yeah,
Rockets, yeah,
yeah. Did you hear
yeah.
about that too?
Yeah, they well, I think they apologized, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I think they banned. Is it just Houston games or any NBA games?
I think the Houston versus Raptors game that was streaming live
Huh?
from Japan. Yeah,
Huh?
they banned that broadcast, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think, and Houston is a major team in China, but I think that's because of Yao Ming, because that used to be his team.
Yeah, Yao Ming still has a portion in the team. I think he owns
Oh,
part
is
of
he
the
part
team.
owner?
Yeah, he's part owner
Yeah,
or
okay.
manager or something like that.
Yeah,
I know that he's affiliated with that.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, that's it's crazy right now, dude. All that political stuff that's going on. But
it
I
it's
just
only a matter
hope
of time.
that I just hope that I'm not going to Hong Kong next month because I was supposed to. Uh, but yeah, I just hope that if they do have me going over there, I just want this to be over.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, one of the people or used to know that works at Vans,
Hmm.
he would travel to Japan,
Hmm.
China, and Hong Kong at least a couple times a year for manufacturing purposes.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
So awkward trips if Vans is still doing trips over there.
I see a couple of people that they do take trips over there,
Yeah,
but they're on the other side of the island. So the main part of the island is where they're all protesting in the business area.
yeah.
So yeah, let's get on to the next story.
All right. On to lighter news, Anton.
Yep.
What's this poster you're talking about?
So I don't know if you know that the Grudge is coming back. Yeah. I don't know if it's a remake or a continuation story,
Oh,
but they have a poster out right now, and it's kind of teasing us to see what the future holds for this movie. And it's just a girl in a bathtub with her hair hanging out. A little
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna pause you right there.
Hmm.
I just saw the email notification that we're live streaming, and I look very sassy in that picture because you caught me like I don't know what I was doing, but my lips look really big.
Really?
uh,
It's
Thanks,
not
Anton.
me. It's not me. I didn't pick that. It's
Yeah,
Randy.
thanks. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I'm so happy we mainly have audio listeners. All right, Anton. El Camino is going to be coming out on Netflix. It's going to be a movie, the sequel to Breaking Bad,
Hmm.
a continuation to find out what happened to Jesse Pinkman after the old shootout.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Oh, come on, dude. That show's been over for like what,
I
6
know.
years,
I
7
know.
years?
Yeah, but surprisingly, ever since it went on to Netflix with all the seasons, a lot of people actually binge watch a lot of it. So, and there are some people that haven't watched it yet. But anyways, I think it's gonna be on. I think it's out right now.
Yeah, actually, before we start recording, I was looking at what's coming out on
Hmm.
Netflix, and they're saying El Camino coming out October 11th.
Yeah, that's today. or right
Well,
now as what
right
when we're
right now for
recording.
you, 3 hours for me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, dude. I think I'm kind of over Breaking Bad. Like it's kind of if this movie came out a year, 2 years after the show ended, I would have been down. But right now, I'm like, it's gonna be a lot of references that I won't get because it's been so long.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I'll still check it out, but I'm just not as hyped as I would have been.
I'm a little hyped because I want to know what's gonna happen to Jesse Pinkman. Because I mean, this when the story ended, they didn't really say anything, or, I mean, all we saw was Jesse driving away in the El Camino.
Laughing maniacally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And just from the trailer, you can tell it's gonna be a lot of time jumping, which I'm not.
Yeah.
That just tells me I need to pay attention,
Yeah.
and I'm ah too much work.
Yeah, but there's
All right.
a couple of really cool clips online right now where they show behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and it actually looks good. I'm just stoked that Aaron Paul is coming back as Jesse Pinkman, because I was expecting to see him in the
What?
Saul.
Oh, Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul. But
Yeah.
there hasn't been like a big cameo on that yet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was wondering. I'm all like, wait, that was a long pause.
Yep.
Um. All right, Anton. So moving on to the next story here. Uh, Behind the attraction. So we are a month away, just over a month away from Disney Plus being released
Yes.
in the United States, and we're starting to get more Disney Plus previews or trailers of other original shows that are coming up for the network
Hmm.
or for the streaming service. One of which is called Behind the Attraction, which is going to be starring and produced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Uh, the description says it's going to trace the history and evolution of Disney theme park rides over the years. This sounds like the show that you should have made, Anton.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of history for every single ride. So, I mean, it's kind of endless to tell different stories. And especially, I think in California, I mean, if I lived there still, I'd probably be doing something like that. But over here, I mean, the whole history behind all this stuff, you can only get these experiences when you go on the VIP tours. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to check my audio. Sorry,
Okay, no problem.
you're fine.
Yeah, so I know that if you go on the VIP tours, you get all the personal tour, and also you get some of the nitty gritty stuff that you can't get anywhere else.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, I'm kind of excited for this type of show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a show right now on Hulu
Hmm.
as part of their Halloween newly added shows. I need to pull it up, but uh it's a documentary style show just about how Disney goes about decorating for Halloween
Hmm.
overnight.
Hmm.
It's funny because like it sounds so simple, but so much coordination, so much stuff has to happen, uh, pretty much overnight. And it's like, when I did go, I noticed that they would do about 80-90% of the decoration done in one night, and then little bits and pieces after throughout the month that they just kind of add in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they show like the installation of the jack-o'-lantern and Main Street, the tour of converting the Haunted Mansion into the Nightmare Before Christmas theme.
Hmm.
Even a nice little Easter egg that I didn't notice, but apparently the gingerbread house that they use in the Haunted Mansion for the Night Before Christmas, it changes every year, and it's edible.
Really?
It's real gingerbread. I thought that they just used the decorators from the bakery to decorate it and make it look like it,
Hmm.
but the head the head not chef but the food service manager, there you go,
Hmm.
food service manager said that he wanted to kick it up and says, why not make the gingerbread house out of real gingerbread? and make this
That's very
more
ballsy.
authentic. And I'm like, holy crap! Like, I really wish that they provided a little bit more detail because I'm like, I want to know if they're actually, well, my girlfriend pointed out, like, do they put like lacquer on it? Do they put something like hairspray, something on it to like
To make it last
preserve it,
longer. Yeah.
last longer? Because they start working on it a month before the Halloween decorations go up.
Well, I know that a lot of cookies, I mean, even though like they're edible and everything, they can they can hold the structure up pretty well even though they're stale.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
once it goes stale, it just dries out more. So
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
so since we're talking about, parks and stuff like that, there was an incident that happened last week that I didn't get a chance to talk about. And did I ever tell you that the gondolas here, it's kind of like those ski resorts where they have those gondolas that you go inside and they take you up the mountain or something
yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
did I talk to you about that here at the Disney resorts?
Uh, no, what happened?
Okay, so they opened up the gondolas, and these are a new kind of transportation for Disney, and they
Hmm.
take you to and from the new hotels to Hollywood Studios and also Epcot. So in a way, you don't have to take the bus anymore. You don't have to drive anymore. You can just go to different parks that are connected through this gondola system, and it's kind of neat. It's very fast, and the only thing about this that a lot of people don't like, but it kind of is not that bad when you actually ride it, is it doesn't have AC. So all of the wind that goes in when it's traveling goes through
Hmm.
a vent, and that's how the whole thing is vented, and you get this really nice breeze going on.
Hmm.
So that way, like it keeps the whole cabin cool while
Yeah.
you're moving. Um, Not a lot of people have experienced it on a really hot day yet, so we don't really know how bad it would be. But so far, people love the whole entire experience of it.
Hmm.
But something really bad happened last week.
AC shut down.
No, there was no AC at all in these
Oh,
things.
okay.
So
Ben shut down.
no, something really bad. One of the gondolas collided with another one, but it
Aren't they?
happened. I mean, they're
Aren't
very spaced out. They're very spaced out.
yeah.
But where it happened was at the station. So
Yeah.
when the gondola stopped, I guess this one was still going, and it crashed
Oh,
against the other one. So there was like it was plexiglass. So there was like I think it was
Anton.
tempered too. So it's shattered everywhere.
Yeah, Anton. Let this be a lesson. Don't drink in gondola.
That's the name of the episode, I guess. Don't drink
Don't
in
drink.
gondola.
All right. This is your episode because I don't know how to spell gondola. I know it's Italian.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Gondula.
So because of that incident happened, there were people in the other gondolas behind it, and they're like suspended in midair with no AC.
And you can't do anything. Like
Yeah.
you just.
Yeah. So they were there for like at least an hour and a half until the they call it the Reedy Creek Fire Department.
Uh-huh.
They came and then they escorted everybody out through the ladders,
Um.
each one.
Okay. So I'll put it this way. Do you think Disney would get pissed off if one of the visitors stuck on like one of the gondolas stuck like mid cable, um, decided to just break one of the windows while they were stuck?
Yeah.
They think they'd get pissed?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, no. So yeah, I think they'd be annoyed.
Yeah, they resumed the whole thing like the next day, like nothing happened. But I think they probably fixed the issue already, because they're
Well,
not gonna
yeah, I
let
would
that
hope
happen again.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad though. All right. So, one second.
Hmm.
Oh, what the hell? Wow, I think my niece is here
Oh
because
yeah.
somebody just pounded my door. Anyways, all right. Let's see here. Uh, Actually, this is one thing we talked about right after we recorded last
Yes.
episode. Rick and Morty season 4. We got a trailer,
Hmm.
and there's a bit of crankiness.
I know, and I think we're only getting 10 episodes this year, right? Or 5 episodes.
We're getting 5 episodes,
Okay.
8 episodes total. 10 episodes total.
Okay.
Uh, so the that's what people got pissed off about was that the trailer said, you know, 5 episodes coming, blah blah blah. Uh, a lot of people saying that. Well, some of the theories are they mean specific. Not there's gonna be 5 episodes for the season. It's gonna be specifically for 2019, and then once after the holiday season's over, they will add the remaining episodes early 2020.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and I think people are just so, how to put it, not even hurt, just I guess short fused
Yeah. First
because
world
of the
problems.
yeah because of the hiatus
Hmm.
that happened between the last episode, the last season, season
Hey,
3,
they
and
were
this one.
fighting for more seasons, so I mean, why complain
But
when they're getting more?
I know people are like, are they going another hiatus? I'm going, no, like I won't say a bad word.
Yeah.
No, oh, douchebag. I'll go, no, douchebag. They're just taking this like short break. Like there's no reason for them to stop at this point. Like the episodes we're getting now have been done for a while. It's not
Yeah.
like they're hot off the press and they're gonna.
Yeah.
So I think that also shows people's lack of understanding of animation, how
Yeah.
long it takes to make one episode.
Yeah. They should listen to our show so they can get educated here.
Exactly. So we're fine, people.
Yeah.
We're gonna get consistent episodes, and if anything, I have a feeling they might be taking some of the streaming, what streaming services have been doing for some of the original series.
Hmm.
I think we might get bursts, like seasons broken up into 2 parts.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd be a good way to kind of spread out because we know we're getting what 70 episodes, 72
Hmm.
episodes.
Hmm.
Um, and rather than have a traditional start in the fall, finish in the spring,
Hmm.
you can have spread it out fall, winter, and then with spring and summer. So
Hmm.
we're consistently going. They have their breaks, they have their releases, and they have consistent viewership.
Hmm. So, you saw the trailer. Are you
Yes.
excited?
One thing I will say about Rick and Morty is that these episodes or all their episodes tend to be very random. So any trailer, any teaser tells you really nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't, because anything can happen anywhere at any
Yeah.
time. So, I
Well,
mean, just by looking at it, I feel like it's gonna be super edgy this season, like it always has. But I think they always take it up a notch every single season.
I'm trying to break up remember now. But like those clip show episodes that they do where they're watching cable TV, like for different parts of the galaxy,
Yeah,
or what's it called? Mind washers. What was it? Brain washers?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like a team of brainwashers or something like that.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. There was an episode so they did two seasons
Hmm.
where they had the TV from across the galaxy,
Hmm.
but on the third season, instead of doing that, they did another episode. They did something else called I think Brainwash, where they literally pulled people's memories,
Hmm.
and you watch the memories instead of watching like
Oh
episodes on
yeah,
TV.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
I think like
Uh-huh.
Mind Washers, I forgot what it
Hmm.
was. So like just episodes like that were just complete nonsense. Just writers getting to write gags
Hmm.
and voice actors ad-libbing,
Hmm.
and then animators having to work around the ad-libbing.
Yeah.
That's what you get. What's it? That weird episode, like how is it made? They're
Yeah.
making fun of how it's made.
Yeah, I like that one. That was sort of
That
funny.
like
Like
that's kind of, like I
the
feel
plumbus.
bad.
How's the plumbus made?
Yeah, at first they chop this part out and they smooth it out, and then they cut this part out, and then and this is where the magic happens.
Yeah. How it
It's
works, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What it's for, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, see, like that, like that, I feel bad for any animators that had to animate that, because that's just somebody BSing their way through
Yeah.
an ad lib session.
I got to make a gold plumbus in the VR, the Rick and Morty VR game.
Did, what did you do the steps exactly how it was done?
Yeah, so you put a plumbus in one, and then you get like something like a material, like let's say this can. So you put the can
Yeah.
there, and then you press the button, and it combines the materials together, and it makes whatever it is. So it'll be a aluminum plumbus. Yeah, it's really funny.
So weird. Anyways, moving on to other weird news.
Yeah,
Onward trailer. We finally got a preview of what it is.
yeah. So Onward trailer gives us a better insight of what the story is about.
Yeah, this is Pixar, right? Pixar's
Yeah,
latest next
Pixar.
project.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be starring Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Holland. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like Tom Hilliard. Tom Holland. This is all we really knew before this was it was kind of a fairy tale feel to it. The name Onward and who's starring it.
Yeah.
Now we have an understanding that there's magic involved.
Mm-hmm.
A bottom half of a body and adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds pretty exciting to see something different, you know?
Yeah. Well, what did
Yeah.
you think?
I think this is a pretty good step forward into kind of. I mean, I've always thought about, what happens if the fairy tale world was in the modern times, and I think this movie is probably gonna give us that
Well,
answer.
first
Yeah.
of all,
Yep.
you never saw Bright then, because that's the world you're describing right now.
Well, yeah, Bright is so edgy. I mean, I
That's
was expecting more like fairy tale
this is
instead of like.
yeah, like that's the ghetto of the whatever world Onward takes place in. Bright is the ghetto part of that town.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's different. I don't think we've had something similar to this from Pixar in a while.
Hmm.
So
Something G rated or PG rated.
I think this is how we would have viewed uh, Frozen
Hmm.
before we knew what it was. Something
Yeah.
different, ice world kind of thing. And now it's part of the what we know about Disney. I'm kind of curious to see how Pixar creates this world, and um, I imagine I'm gonna feel the same about it the way I feel about How to Train Your Dragon.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
But yeah,
I already told you like 2 weeks ago when I saw Abominable,
oh
and
yeah,
yeah, it's from the same people as How to Train Your Dragon, but
meh. Yeah, yeah. All right,
hmm.
all right, Anton. That's it for news. Ready to move on to video games?
Yes, let's get into video games.
All right. First thing we're going to cover here in video games,
Hmm.
Cuphead. This is a game that you told me about that they're going to be created into a show.
Yes.
Some news came out saying that Cuphead, the game, is now going to be available in Teslas.
Oh yeah, that's his weapon.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what you're doing there. You're just
Yeah.
snapping.
I don't know if you ever
Yeah,
played the game, but whenever he shoots little bullets, this is what he
yeah.
does.
He just snaps his fingers.
Yeah, just snaps his fingers. That's
Uh,
bullets fly out.
yeah. So I mean, have been known to release games for their center monitor, center console
Hmm.
screen in their cars, and now Cuphead has been added to that catalog. So
I think it's kind of
yay!
cool that the Tesla are putting games in there because there are times when you go to Target to charge your car,
Interesting to
it kind
do.
of gets boring.
I like the racing game that they added to it. I
Hmm.
think that's cool. That it's pretty much a gaming rig. That your
Yep.
car becomes a gaming rig.
Yeah, you
You
can
get to
use
actually steer.
the actual wheel. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Done.
So other gaming news. I'm excited for a couple of games that are coming up. I already talked about them already. But November seems to be pretty busy for a lot of the games that I'm interested in. Like I got Shenmue 3, which was a Kickstarter. I paid probably $30 like 4 or 5 years ago,
Mhm.
and the game's finally coming out. Super excited. Another game that we also talked about was Death Stranding, which is made by Hideo Kojima. It's also a PlayStation game. Sorry. um, Yeah, this game is finally coming out. It's been anticipated for such a long time, ever since Hideo Kojima got fired from Konami.
Hmm.
And he went on a year hiatus where he grew a beard and it looked like he was losing his mind. And then PlayStation and a couple of big fans that are from the gaming industry gave him a little bit of funding money to finish the dream project that he wanted to do, which was make a game with Norman Reedus. Yeah.
Also, I don't mean to derail, but isn't he working on one with Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, this is it too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Silent Hill.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
what the code name was. I think they only came out as what was it?
They call it
Uh,
PT trailer, playable
yeah,
trailer.
playable trail. Yeah, dude. I got sucked into a YouTube rabbit hole
Hmm.
watching. I guess game some hackers have broken into the code or the playable trailer code and started tweaking the code, changing some lighting effects,
Because the,
seeing
the
what's
the
been
weird thing
deleted.
about the game is every time you play it, it's not the same game. It
Yeah,
just gets
and that
weirder and weirder, and people keep unlocking secrets over and over
yeah.
and over again. Yeah.
So that's one reason why people got into it, to see what's making it tick, what can they make it do. So rather than having to play it over and over again, they can just switch certain settings on and off and walk through it. So there's one where I forgot the name. For the sake of this conversation, I'll say the dead woman's name is Alice.
Hmm.
Actually, that might be right.
Hmm.
Um,
She's
Al
she shows up like randomly, and that's when the game ends.
Yeah, well, so as it turns out, she's actually been following you the entire time in the game.
Hmm. She's right
Uh,
behind you, right behind the
yeah,
camera. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. She's always around you.
Hmm.
At a point where you see a shadow,
When you turn really
something,
fast.
yeah, something.
Yeah.
No, not just that, but you're walking through a room and there's like a door that's like half open.
Hmm.
You see something kind of peer out, and then before you can react, it kind of disappears and the door shuts. And when you open the door, nothing's there. So one of the hackers went into it and tweaked the code so whatever's there stays there. So when you open the door, you see it's actually Alice.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like it's such a small demo that like it sucks that the game's not going to happen.
Yeah. And they deleted the game, and people who already downloaded the game onto the PlayStations,
Mhm.
they sell the actual PlayStations that already download those games, and they're selling it like for lots of money.
Is it like
Like,
Flappy Bird?
yeah, it's like Flappy Bird on the friggin' iPhones.
I
Yeah.
see.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Destiny is one of the ones I've been hearing a lot about. It looks cool, but I guess I'm not the only one that has no idea what the hell's going on with it.
Oh, Death Stranding.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Uh,
a lot of people were confused too because I mean the game is so weird and complicated. I mean it has something to do with babies because he's.
well, yeah, he has like an incubator with a baby in it.
Mhm.
They keep making vague references to I'm gonna create the universe or create the world or something like that.
Yeah, and then for the actual gameplay that I saw, he's basically in like a a building where he has a bunch of cargo,
Hmm.
and all it is you're trying to stack stuff on Norman,
Yeah.
and so then he can go on his journey to deliver all that stuff. So I think it's a delivery service type of game, kind of like Kiki's. But
uh,
I don't really know the whole story behind it, but I'll tell you more about it when I start playing it.
I will say that watching some of the reviews of the trailers have been funny because
Mhm.
they started calling out that Norman Reedus' character drops apparently a very valuable box. The way the trailer's camera follows it,
Uh-huh.
and the way he reacts when he drops it twice in like very stupid ways. And so like okay, this is where he drops the box and it slips out of his hands and it slides across the map, which we don't know what's in the box, but apparently it's very important.
Yeah.
And then like 2 minutes later, the trailer, and he drops that very important box again. Guess it's not that important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about PlayStation, I want to talk to you about next year's next gen systems.
Hmm.
So there has been talks and announcements of both of these systems. So we're getting PS5 and we're also getting Xbox Project Scarlet.
Hmm.
So I want to know, for you as a gamer, console gamer, what are you looking for in a new system? Are you interested in the gameplay, or are you interested in the game titles, or are you interested in the hardware, the stuff that happens under the hood?
I think I think like what's been kind of drawing me towards Xbox recently and now Switch have been the game titles mainly.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with PlayStation is uh, what drew a lot of people to it, which was the PlayStation exclusives, has kind of kept me away from getting the newer PlayStations because I don't really know what those franchises are
Yeah,
about.
see, that's the one thing I wish you can experience is a lot of the games that win awards are mostly on the PlayStation. It's true. I
Oh
mean,
wait, you can see my face. Oh my bad.
yeah, like you got
Uh,
God of War, you got Last of Us, you got Uncharted. These are
Anton,
very heavy hitters.
Anton, it's like movie awards. It's not just like who the critics like; it's who the audience like too. Um, no, I don't know. I'm saying that
Mhm.
there's one game that came really close to making me want to buy a PlayStation, and instead I ended up getting a Switch. But that was Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I
dude,
almost,
even Spider Man is freaking good, like so
that's
good.
and that's the thing
Hmm.
that's what kept me from buying. That was drawing me towards buying the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But in the end, I went to Switch because of the game titles.
Hmm.
Um,
So game
Other than
titles
that,
is very important to you.
yeah.
Hmm.
And then the game titles I do recognize that go to PlayStation or can go to PlayStation, uh, they're available for other consoles. So I end up just picking it up for that console. So
Hmm.
that's kind of been my draw there. I know you've made a case for the hardware,
Hmm.
uh, and I don't know. I just so far I've had no issues with my Xbox. So
Yeah. So so next year, I mean, they already announced a couple of things that are available in the market for them to build a new system.
mhm.
So for PlayStation 5, they've been working with AMD. Well, interestingly, both companies, PlayStation and Xbox, has been working with AMD. And I think you should buy AMD stocks because their stocks has been like pretty good. Ever since they went back to revamp their whole entire chipset systems,
Mhm.
they went back to the drawing board to do everything from scratch.
Mhm.
Because, there was a law in these chips, how they're made, that you're only allowed to go so far to make it so powerful. And that's why you have to start making different cores and everything.
All right.
So the AMD um, chips are able to do the new architecture called Ryzen, and they're able to do it with the graphics cards and also the GPUs or the CPUs. So a lot of companies right now, I mean, they for the longest time they've been using like the i6, the i9 cards from
Mhm.
Intel, but these guys are knocking it out of the waters. So PlayStation is doing 8 cores for their chipset, and Xbox is doing the same, but they're only doing one chip. It's 1.6 gigahertz. So I'm kind of curious. Is Xbox going the route of cloud gaming? Because they're not going all out with the processor on this one, and even the
Yeah.
graphics too.
Yeah,
PlayStation
and I
is
think
going an extra mile with the higher end GPU that's not even out yet.
yeah, and that's the thing too. Which we talked about with Stadia, is that seems to be what they think is finally they finally think they think they finally solve the issue with uh streaming with games.
Yeah.
Um, so and another thing to keep in mind is whatever console comes out, we haven't had a console that didn't last us at least 10 years in about two generations. I
Yeah.
think PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were the first consoles that lasted us a decade. Then were
Almost a
replaced by
decade.
the
Like
almost
it.
a decade.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One,
Hmm.
which also has. I mean, it's still going.
Hmm.
We're at a decade, and now it's moving on to this next generation next year. So in 10 years, I mean, do you think hardware is going to matter this much to us?
No. And okay, so we already know. Like we talked about this. I think ugh, over like 30 episodes ago, where PlayStation and Xbox already signed a contract together to do cloud
Oh,
gaming together.
yeah, the cross-platform games.
Yeah, cross-platform games and also having cloud gaming service.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think because PlayStation and Xbox are playing a closer game of selling their hardware now, that they're kind of backing each other up because there are bigger players out there right now that is more of a threat to them. We already know Nintendo's not a threat. And
No, and
yeah.
Nintendo's made peace with that. They
Hmm.
they know where their niche is. They know they're more family gaming.
Hmm.
Their game experience
Hmm.
rather than the actual like intensity of the game. Whatever. It's more about the community aspect of it.
Hmm. Yeah, so we know that, PlayStation's going to go all out with their hardware, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future with all of that hardware. But for Xbox, I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go. I think the one thing about Xbox is they try to always go for the middle, where they're in the safe
They
zone.
I think Xbox just tries to keep its options open as to what it can become.
Yeah.
Uh, PlayStation has always put gaming first
Mm-hmm.
and then everything else second.
Cause
Xbox seems to try anything it can and will. Like I think right now the biggest thing they're trying to push is not Twitch, Mixer.
Mixer, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
so they're
their
trying.
new money maker.
Yeah, which they send that gamer Ninja
Yeah.
for that one. So
Okay, so here's my thought of what I think is going to happen with the Xbox Scarlet is I think they're going to compete with the PlayStation just to compete, but I mean later on when let's say PlayStation is doing really well with their superior hardware, I
mhm.
think Xbox will probably go, "Hey, you know what? We'll do that too. It seems pretty successful, so we'll come out with a better version of Scarlet."
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is even though these consoles have lasted us a decade,
Hmm.
both systems are not shy about making lighter versions or even making more. In the case of Xbox, the
Yeah,
Xbox Elite,
yeah.
making it more powerful, more beefy.
Xbox One X,
Oh, uh,
Xbox One X box. I
Xbox
don't
One
know.
X.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
um, yeah.
PlayStation
So
Pro. Yeah.
yeah, so they have their variations.
Hmm.
Probably won't see those until at least 5 years down the line. But
Yeah.
we might see a lighter version in about 4 years. But
Hmm.
yeah. So end of an era, and coming to an end.
Yeah. Good talk.
First of all, are you gonna buy any new games knowing that these consoles are coming out? I know they're gonna make it
uh,
backwards compatible, but
I know that PlayStation is not going to be backwards compatible. I know that this
oh, that's true.
whole
They made that
architecture
announcement.
is totally different than all of the other ones. So I know for sure it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think Xbox is gonna try to make it backwards compatible because they've been pushing so much
Hmm.
to uh, bring their Xbox 360 titles to the arcade or to
Streaming
the
service, yeah.
Microsoft Store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for them to do all that work and then just, new console. Nope, these don't work anymore again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just
All
gonna
right,
have to
Anton.
wait till next year. It's gonna be both these systems are hitting the shelves in holiday 2020.
Success. We probably won't get it until probably March of 2021 because both consoles are going to be want to be the first one to sell out, which
Yeah,
means that both consoles might try to short
unless
supply the market.
unless unless we have a superior system, Stadia,
Stadia.
and maybe we don't
Mm.
even have to buy a PlayStation and Xbox.
That's a good strategy. Let's see
Yeah,
here. If
yeah.
Do you think they're going to try to oversaturate the market and just make it as readily available so people won't try to move to the Stadia, or will they try to make it more appealing by shorting the market and making it seem like, oh, PlayStation and Xbox have sold out everywhere? Yeah.
Well, people have kind of moved towards what's new in technology,
Yeah.
and I think spending less is also a good thing too.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you have a baby on the way.
I
Yay.
know. So then someone doesn't yell at me for buying a
You're
new
gonna become
console.
you're gonna become a Nintendo only concert household. Yay.
Oh no. Yeah.
All right, done. Let's move on to our last segment, movies.
All right, movies.
All right. So looking at the box office as of October 9th,
Mm-hmm.
number one, we have Joker with 129.4 million. 129.4 million, sorry. Number two, Abominable with 41.1 million. Number three, Downton Abbey with 76.8 million. Number four, Judy with an estimated 11.1 million. And finally, number five, Hustlers with 93.6 million. I am surprised Downton Abbey is making this much money. It's making more money than some of the summer movies made.
Wow. And I'm surprised that Hustlers was able to get like 90 something million. That's pretty high for a
Dude. It's the girls' night out, man.
yeah,
I
that's true.
I think the opening weekend, Instagram, Snapchat, all my friends that posted them that they were going to watch this, left their boyfriends and husbands at home and went with their girls.
Uh
I saw at least 3 group pictures in front of the Hustler posters. And then one of my friends posted in their Instagram picture underneath said, came out of the movie wanting to be a stripper.
Whoa.
Yeah, all right.
That's a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't have much planned for the movie segment, but something did pop into my mind right now as we're going over the
Mm-hmm.
box office
Okay.
numbers. The ending. Okay, and first of all, if you haven't seen Joker, spoilers. Uh, I was under the impression that my interpretation of the ending of Joker was readily accepted. But earlier today, I heard a podcast, the Nerding Out podcast. They were talking about how it's people are disagreeing, and the minority of people believe the Joker imagined it. Was that your takeaway? Like, what was your do you think the things that happened in the Joker actually happened, or was that all in his head?
That's really interesting.
I walked
Yeah,
away
that's
thinking it was
very
all in his
interesting
head.
because like didn't they say that he was in oh well they released him but
He's
also
well, no,
still did the interviews on him. But also it does make sense at the very ending if he just thought about all that and said, "Oh, that's funny."
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where you get him. He kind of zoned out.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's a really good take.
well, that's the thing. I think that's why we didn't bring it up because I just thought it was a given the way it ended,
Mhm.
and just the way the movie was laid out. But one thing that I didn't think about is the Joker is a character that um I can't remember if it was a quote in the movie or just a quote from something else, but the Joker has truths even in his lies.
Mm-hmm.
So for the movie itself to misdirect you or to confuse you is very Joker-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. So I mean, just some of the things that happen in the movie, it's the audience just has to suspend disbelief more than usual
Yeah.
and just go for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where he walks into the movie theater to confront Wayne, Thomas Wayne, uh, he just walked in. We really don't see how he got in. We just see him in the lobby of the theater and just happened to pick up a usher coat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was another one? Uh, the stand up routine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we really don't see him come up with any material, but we just know that he got a spot at an open mic to do his comedy. We don't see him book it. We don't see him do anything. In any conversations with the nightclub owner. It just happens. We just show up at the nightclub and it happens. Uh, it just so many things had to line up that we didn't get explanations for.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that Todd Phillips said. He said that the director,
Yeah.
he said that a lot of people came up to him and started asking questions and giving him theories about the movie, and he can't really say anything about him because he said that he wants to keep the suspense like that because he does agree with some of the theories that a lot of people say out there, and he says that a lot of them are correct and a lot of them are wrong, but he's never gonna say anything until probably 20 years later.
Oh no, this is gonna be like something we're not gonna hear about until like
Yeah.
the 20th anniversary DVD
Yeah.
comes out, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the things I thought about too is, again, for the Joker to have all these delusions in the movie, but yet the only fake thing that we got misdirected on was Zazie Beetz' character not being real, or like his relationship with Zazie Beetz' character being fake.
Mm-hmm.
That one seems very like that seems very uh shorthanded if that's the only misdirection we got. The other part is it's a guy that he's living in poverty, he's taking care of his mom, but just happens to be the alleged son of the most rich guy in the country, let alone Gotham City. He happened to uh, meet him in the bathroom at a movie theater by himself, no other people around. He got to be on his favorite talk show. He became a
it was
hero
just
of
so
a city.
convenient, like
Yeah,
everything
exactly.
it seems to line up so well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're so sucked into the character, the cringeworthiness of the movie, that we don't really question it. We're kind of just curious to see what happens next. And
yeah, that's right. Because if I want to listen to the whole dialogue again at the very end when that lady's interviewing him. Yeah.
Something that I did miss that they pointed out on the Nerd and All podcast was the throwaway scene at the very beginning when he's first being interviewed by the social worker. You get a glimpse of him in Arkham Asylum smashing his head against the window, and that's the only thing we ever see of him in Arkham besides the ending. So some people are making the connection that that was a glimpse of reality and then flashback to his fantasy. So the reality the impact to the glass brought us to reality and then back into the fantasy as he was done.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
So I kind of want to rewatch the movie just to watch the end scene and see if he has any marks on his forehead. Because one of the things I did notice is that his hair wasn't green anymore, and this is supposed to be right after the riots. So I don't know. I don't know. I just thought like, damn, it's gonna be a great movie that we're gonna
Yeah,
hear
maybe
theories
the
about.
reason why he laughed so hard at the very end was because he was thinking about that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty deep.
And
That's a lot to
and
think
that's why
about.
yeah, and that's why I said you had to be there or you wouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine, trying to explain that delusion to somebody.
I get
I killed a person, became a city hero because of it.
it.
um, yeah, so I don't know. I just had to bring that up again because I heard that on their podcast. And I was like, wait, what? Like that's the minority? I thought that was the common belief. Like that it was yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all right, Anton. So we'll talk about it again in 20 years when
Yeah.
Todd Phillips releases the commentary.
Yep.
It does a director's cut.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Anton. If people want to support us and keep us running for another 20 years, how can they do that?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy some stickers, t-shirts, or maybe a hat. And if there was something that we talked about on the show that is in our show notes or website or anything, any of the links that takes to Amazon gives us a little kickback. So it's always a good thing.
Yes, sir. You can also follow us on social media at the2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The latest post I put on Twitter for deals that you can click on and give us a little kickback on is the entire Back to the Future adventure pack. Or get this right. The entire Back to the Future, the complete adventures. There we go. That's what it was. So it's a DVD collection of the three movies, so the trilogy, and all 26 episodes of the animated series that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Only $21.99. Blu-rays with digital copies. Yeah,
it's a very good deal.
So these are the deals you're missing out on if you're not following us on Twitter. And again, if you click on the link that I post with these deals, not only do you get an awesome deal, but we get a little cut at no extra expense to you.
Cool. So this week's episode is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or even MP3 player. There's a book that I recommend. It's a self-help book. And my wife read this. It is called "You Are a Badass" by Jen Sincero.
I really thought you were gonna say what you call it, the art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, that's a good book too. Yeah.
I mean, one of the recommendations I have to make for Audible selection is Batman and Psychology. Since we were talking about the Joker and all that, these pop psychology and pop philosophy books are great books to explore different theories in psychology and philosophy, and connect them to characters that you know and love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I'm reading that book, the philosophy, not philosophy, Iron Man versus Captain America versus Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
So to understand the philosophy. So yeah, good reads.
Cool.
One last thing that I forgot to mention, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and your favorite podcast listening app. That helps us, move up on the podcast list and also helps us get new viewers or listeners. I think that's it. Anything else, Anton?
Nope, that's it. Let's call it a night.
All right. For the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan. See ya.
You guys.